In a second, I am going to undertake a live sales interview. The sales manager is going to ask me a series of difficult questions to assess my suitability for the sales position I have applied for. Therefore, if you have a sales interview coming up soon, make sure you stay tuned. Once the interview is over, I will tell you where you can instantly download my brilliant scripted sales interview answers. Okay, here I am about to give some top scoring answers to some difficult sales interview questions. Please take notes.
Welcome to your sales job interview. Please tell me about yourself.
Thank you for inviting me to be interviewed for this sales position today. My name is Richard, and in recent years, I have developed the right mindset, skills, and qualities needed to become a highly effective salesperson. I have a confident and positive demeanor. I communicate with clarity, and I am a very good listener. I believe listening is one of the most underrated skills in sales. I have worked in several positions that required the ability to attract new sales prospects, build long-lasting relationships with customers, and also work toward achieving difficult sales targets. I am a high achiever. For example, in my previous sales position, I was praised by the sales manager for my entrepreneurial spirit and how I shared my sales techniques with everyone in the sales office. Whilst I appreciate you are interviewing lots of candidates for this sales position, one of the things that makes me stand out is my drive and passion to continually improve. I am very competitive and I want to be the best I can possibly be. Thank you for listening to my introduction, and I look forward to sharing additional details in the interview regarding my suitability for this sales position.
Okay, thank you. Now tell me, why did you choose a career in sales?
I chose a career in sales for 3 reasons. The first reason is that I am a very sociable person and I thrive when I am dealing with people. I am a people person who enjoys the challenge of a difficult sales prospect. The second reason I chose a career in sales is because of the variety that comes with the role. There are many different ways to sell to people, and I enjoy the fact that I get the autonomy to test new sales techniques to help improve conversion rates. The third reason I chose a career in sales is because of the opportunity to earn a higher than average income. If I do well, I get rewarded. I have ambitious plans outside of work, and the only way I will achieve my goals is if I do well for my employer.
That's great to hear. Now tell me, what motivates you?
I am a goal-oriented person who must have something to work towards. I get bored easily, which I believe is one of the best traits to have in sales because I am always on the go, I am looking to improve, and I am motivated by challenging sales targets. As I briefly mentioned in my previous answer, I have goals outside of work and I am highly motivated by these. I am saving up to buy my first house and have set myself a deadline to achieve that goal. I will only achieve the goal if I work hard and commit myself fully to my work.
Okay, Richard. What are the most important skills and qualities needed to work in sales?
There are 8 essential skills and qualities needed to work in sales. Confidence and resilience are the first 2. You must show confidence in the products and services you are selling and also demonstrate resilience when things are getting tough. You need drive and a passion for sales. If you are not self-motivated or naturally aligned to a career in sales, it will be difficult for you to meet your sales targets. Being a people person is another important quality. Each prospect is different in terms of their needs, objections, and motivations. A competent salesperson will be able to quickly establish what each of those things are. Effective communication is one of the most important skills needed to work in sales. Communication is not just about how you speak, it's about how you listen and ask relevant questions. Other essential skills and qualities needed in sales include taking responsibility for your professional development, because in sales you cannot afford to sit still. There is always something new to learn. And finally, you need in-depth knowledge of your products and services so you can sell them to your sales prospects and also answer any questions they might have.
Okay, next question. What's been your most successful sale?
My most successful sale was when I first started working in sales. It was my most successful sale because I was inexperienced. I was trying to sell a servicing contract to an important client that would be worth thousands to my employer over a 5-year period. Despite being new to sales, I was keen to impress. Before speaking to the client, I prepared myself well. I researched their company, established how the servicing package could bring a financial benefit to their business, and I considered the possible objections the client would use. I was not pushy in my sales approach, but instead, I asked the client numerous questions about how I could help them to improve operational efficiency. In all, it took me 2 challenging phone calls and 1 face-to-face meeting to close the sale. I learned a tremendous amount from that experience, especially in respect of asking the client the right questions, not being pushy, and making sure the value of the product I was selling far outweighed the cost of purchase.
Sales are down in our company. What would you do?
First, I would analyse the reason for the drop in sales. Getting to know the root cause of the sales drop would be essential. Is it because we are not giving our customers what they need anymore? Is it because my sales approach is no longer effective? Or is there a seasonal reason for the sales drop? It might also be that our closest competitors have a new product or service that we need to compete with. Once I had established the reason for the sales drop, I would use an innovative approach to increase them again. I would assess what our closest competitors were doing to drive sales and also assess where our target audience was. For example, if they were online, I would use a combination of Google pay-per-click adverts and Facebook and Instagram adverts to reach our target audience. I would then test all online adverts to make sure the return on investment was strong. And finally, I would consult my co-workers in the sales team to ascertain what ideas they had based on their experience to drive an increase in sales again.
Okay, thank you. You can ask a new sales prospect 3 questions. Which questions would you ask and why?
I would ask them the following questions. The first question would be, what are the biggest challenges right now in their company and what do they need to overcome them? The second question would be, what results do they want to achieve? And the third question would be, what's the criteria for making a buying decision in the company and who will make it? Now, the first question allows me to ascertain a solution to their problem, which enables me to then sell the benefits of our product or service. The second question allows us both to focus our thoughts on their desired results. If I can prove to them that the results are achievable with our product or service, it makes it easier for them to justify the spend. And finally, the third question, I need to understand who is going to make the decision to buy in the company and what the potential barriers might be.
Okay, great. Thank you. How would you build rapport with a sales prospect?
I would build rapport by asking relevant questions, listening to the prospect, and also trying to build a common connection that was outside of sales talk. Prospects and customers are intelligent, and they know when they are being sold to. Therefore, it is important to ask the right questions and to demonstrate that you are able to make a difference to their challenge or situation. Listening is a skill that has become forgotten amongst many sales professionals. In sales, we like to do the talking, but in my experience, listening is more powerful. While a prospect is talking, I will listen and look for clues that will enable me to close the sale quickly. Establishing a common connection with the prospect is a great way to build trust quickly, and it enables the lines of communication to really open up.
Next question. How do you handle sales objections?
First, I would ascertain the objection before creating a solution that meets the client's needs. For example, if the client stated that they were not interested, I would create interest by sharing a short story of how the product had benefited others. If the client said they didn't have the money or the funds, I would focus on how the product would save the money in the long term and provide evidence. If the client said the product or service was too difficult to use or implement, I would offer to arrange for its implementation in their company while providing ongoing support. And finally, if the objection were that they needed more time to think about it, I would provide them with specific facts and figures of how the product would overcome their problem, and then ask them what the best time and date would be for me to contact them again in the near future.
That's the end of your sales interview. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. I have just 2 questions I would like to ask, please. The first question is, what qualities do the top performing salespeople have in this company? And my second question is, what are the biggest challenges the sales team is currently facing? Okay, so there you have it. Brilliant top scoring answers to difficult sales interview questions. Now, the next thing to do to accelerate your learning even further is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head straight through to my website passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 17 scripted answers to difficult sales interview questions. You get all of the answers I just gave in my interview, plus additional top scoring responses. Click that link right now to get all of the answers. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. I have put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It is always an honor and a pleasure to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the very best for passing your sales interview. Have a great day.